Hey y'all, so I am back for another session in our Gelli Dex series. I think this is 15, so really getting along here. And so now what I'm doing is I'm starting to take stock here. And so we'll go through that process because we only have a few left. And so I'll tell you what I'm thinking about doing today. Before I do that, a couple of things that I wanted to share. First is I'll be doing a 5,000 subscriber giveaway. I hit 5,000 some point, I think last week over the weekend. And I've been having it in my mind that I was going to do a giveaway. So the giveaway is going to be a lots of different things that I've been pulling together here in the studio, things that I'm using, that I have used. Some of them are new products. Some of them are bits and bobs of my papers and it's just going to be just a little love box of all kinds of things from the studio, things I figure you could use in journaling. Um, some of it's Gelli printing and what have you. So the way I thought I would do it is that leave a comment below this video. You can say, yes, I'd love to enter in your giveaway, or, Robin, hey, or whatever you want to say. But leave a comment below the video, and then I will just do a random number generator based on the order of the comments, and then I will reach out to you. I'll leave well, I'll do two things. I'll leave a comment on the comment of the person who wins, and then next week I'll also say who won, and then we can contact, and you can send me your mailing address, and I'll send you out a care gift, care package, all kind of goodies in it. So I thought that'd be fun to do, just as a way to say thank you guys for hanging out over here with me and helping my channel grow and just really share the arts. That's a big thing for me. It's not so much about numbers or how many subscribers I have, but it's just me. It's a way for me reaching out and connecting with so many artists and creatives in ways that I can share what I love to do, and you guys always share back with me as well. So it's community that I'm really excited about engaging with. So that's the first thing. The second thing, for all of those of you guys who are following me, who live in Europe, I have a workshop that I've now set up. It's completely ready to launch. It's going to be in Amsterdam. It's a 5-day workshop, and it's going to be June 17th through the 22nd. So if you're interested, leave a comment below with your email address, or whatever, way to contact, or jump on my mailing list. And that information will be going out soon. It's only 8 spots, and I already have quite a few people on the mailing list, on my wait list. So, but I did want to open to everyone because I know a lot of you follow me in different parts of the world, and I'd hate to be so close to you and you're like, oh gosh, I didn't know, I would love to come. And I haven't yet scheduled it, but I'm also planning one for France. I'll probably do Paris. So when I leave Amsterdam, so somewhere towards the end of June, I'm looking at doing Paris. So if you're interested, if you live in France, you'd love to come to Paris and do like a 3-day workshop there with me, Gelli Printing, then leave a message below this comment as well. Leave a comment below this video as well. And yeah, so then I'll reach out to you. Okay, housekeeping done. Let's jump into the Gelli arts. So what I'm thinking here, one of the things that would cause me to do this particular structure, because I know many of you ask, well, why the Rolodex? Well, first of all, I think it'll make a wonderful book structure, and it'll be just a wonderful piece of art that we can keep out in our studios, in our home, different places where we like to put our art, just for other people to enjoy. I just think it's a beautiful little compact structure that really has a lot of power because there's so many cards that have so many different variations of Gelli printing on it. It was also a way for me to share a lot of my Gelli printing techniques in sort of like a capsulated form. Like I can show you guys a lot of different techniques in sort of like a quick fashion, And then if you want, more, those of you who are following me on Patreon or over on my studio school know that I go a lot deeper into all these techniques and we just do a lot with them. But at least here on YouTube, it's a way to kind of like get a snapshot, of all my different techniques. So when I'm going through and creating these sessions, I'm always thinking about what's a new technique, a new way that I can show you guys that I work with my Gelli prints to create collages, and et cetera, using my book structures. So today what I thought I would do is, a lot of you who follow me know I'm really big on reusing my images, creating my own papers that I can use to collage with and use back in my art. So I thought I would show you this little book that I created. I don't know if I've shown it before, but it's a part of my passport series that I'm working on. And so I love thrifting. I love going to antique stores. And so when I see like these little pouches and all these cute little things, it's, and they're, you hate to leave them back. They're just special pieces from the past. This one just has these wonderful little metal flowers with rhinestones set in it. It's just beautifully beaded. So I use this as a pouch for this little book that I made that echoes dyed, tea and coffee dyed lace, and handmade papers. But all these pages were mark making, Gelli printing, and what have you on them. So before I bound this book, I laid the paper on my copier and I made copies of the images like this, so that I would have them, to reuse. So that's that little piece. I love this little book. And so this one I photocopied on Onionskin, and I love working with Onionskin because it just is, it's already, first of all, it's a beautiful texture paper. It takes the inks really nicely, and when you collage with them, it really becomes translucent and somewhat disappears and blends in. So it's a beautiful collage material. Okay, I really love making my own papers and working with them like this. So I thought what we would do today is show you a different way to repurpose your paper. So let's say, you already have some Gelli prints that you love, and you don't want to tear them up, you don't want to destroy them, you love them as a piece of art. Or maybe you just have lots of pieces that you love. They really are not a piece of art, but there's a lot of patterns and colors and stuff that you love on them. So what I would do is just photocopy them. If you can do it on an Onionskin or a thin, pretty thin paper, try it. Don't use tracing paper. Tracing paper doesn't work. It's a little bit too slippery. If not, then just use, regular photocopy paper or whatever. It'll be a little thicker, but it will still collage beautifully, and it'll give you a chance just to kind of play with this technique. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of our cards, and we are going to go ahead and, print the surfaces, because we want some paint on here so that we can then build up and work our cards, work these images off and onto the cards. So let's just get some of the old wall technique going. I already have some quinacridone ozo gold down here and a little bit of other colors. And I did go out, you guys are so right, Martha Stewart is discontinuing the champagne gold because they're all on sale. I did find a couple at my local Michael's, so I grabbed them. But also I was looking at the other Martha Stewarts to see if I thought anything was close. And I really don't see anything in a gold palette right now. But she did have the champagne. So she does have something called champagne, which is very similar to the Deco Arts champagne, but I think it's even a little more golder than this one. But this one is a little more platinum. So I thought, well, let's try it, because it looks like it could still be a good glazing color. So let's give it a shot. I haven't used it yet. You can see I'm opening it for the first time, so we can kind of check this out together. It's a pretty color. So I think to do well, but let's just see. So let's get a good amount down there because my, oh wow, this is thick. That might not have been a good idea. Wow, that's way thick. Okay, so let's do a little damage control. I don't want it that thick. Get my piece of brown paper that I off roll on. Let's get some of this color off. So if you get too much on the plate, just keep on taking it off. You guys know I'm a real big believer in not having a lot of color built up on this plate. I like thin layers. I don't mind taking my time. Okay, let's see. That should work. Let's give it a shot. Put our cards down. Oh. Okay. Put this down now and just really rub this into the plate. See what we get. I've never used this color before, as I said, so it really came out thick. It's a real thick formula. I like the color, but be careful with glazing with that. Let's just see. It probably is going to be gorgeous. Okay, we're getting a little pick up this, you know how it is when you first get started. It's so dry that, and the problem is if I had let all that stay on the plate and hadn't taken some of it off, I would have just had pure color on there and it wouldn't have been any of my underpainting because it hadn't gotten, wet enough to, or, not enough moisture to pick it up yet. This is the one that did the best. So one of the things I forgot to do, see, I broke one of my own rules. I didn't break some of this paint up. When the paint sits on the plate for a while, to make it really start moving off this plate, you got to break it up some. So let me go back and do a little bit of this. So just kind of roll it to really break up those areas where there's just a bunch of, paint kind of on the plate. Okay, so let's do it again. It's a pretty color. I really love the color. It's almost kind of like more pinky than gold, but let's go ahead and use the champagne gold. See if we can pick some more of this information on this plate up. Yeah, it's definitely a different formula. See how thin this one is? It's probably hard to see, but you can see right off, even from the camera there, that. So all paints, I know some of you asked me, what do I mean by glazing? Well, it's kind of a term that I've kind of sort of, I don't know, taken away from, things when you think about glazing glass, how on mirroring, they put different glazes on and it kind of gives it, the silvering or a gold or a smoky or effect. It's, it's called glazing. So I kind of think of it like that we're just putting just a thin layer of color on just to sort of change the tonal quality of the print. But at the same time, with this plate, it just gives just enough moisture and paint to pick up a lot of what's already on the plate. That's how I get that old wall effect, where I'm just picking up layer after layer after layer. So I call it a glazing technique because that's basically the amount that you want to put on here to really activate the plate and really get those layers to pick up. If you put thick layers on, it just, you're not going to pull you're not going to pull the color off the plate to the quality level of the kind of prints that I'm going for. So okay, we're starting to get more. I tell you, this stuff is stubborn for some reason. I don't know why it wants to be stubborn. Let me see if I can just go back and pick some up like I do like this. Not a lot. It's still, the plate is still, this is what just our second pull. So the plate is still, that looks good. It's coming up a bit better. See, so in order to get this kind of old wall look that I call it, we gotta pick up these very thin layers, just like the way a wall gets old, right? It's just layer after layer of paint that's been painted on it and then chipped off and then weathering, and then you have the activations of salt and what have you that may come out of the stone of the wall, and then that's building up, and so you think about it as these layers of time. And so in order to get off the plate, you're not going to be taking it off in, oh, this looks good, that looks yummy. It's not going to come off in these even layers. You want them to be uneven, and you just kind of keep on building them up as you go. These colors are going to work in well with the print that I have. Yeah, this is looking good. Starting to come along. So what we will do, oh yeah, a good amount starting to come off now. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some quinacridone Ozo Gold, and I want to break this plate up some with a texture. What texture do I want to use? I don't know oh, you know what I'll use? This one is always good. Bath mat one. I like this one. This one will give us a little diversity. So I'm just going to put a little, because I don't want this to be a very thick layer. So I'm going to do it like this. And then I'm going to put this down, and I'll just come back with this piece. Just kind of, I'm mostly interested in just getting that circle pattern down. So come here, do the same thing. Okay, so then what I'm going to do, because I don't want to get, see, I'm working my little brown paper over here too, so just kind of put some of that down, because see, we're getting all that little patterning anyway, so that's good. That becomes paper that I use. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take bits of it and pull it up. I don't want, see, I just want to get some of the circles on here, just bits and pieces of that circle. I don't want to put the whole thing down and all of that. Just trying to get some of this information up and off onto this, just to add some interest. Love it. Perfect. And then what will happen is that it's going to break this pattern up. So when I go to do the other side, see how I'm just getting those little circles? I love this bath mat. I got it from the dollar store, but it just makes the best circle prints. You can see. Let's let it focus. There. See that? So what I want to do now is, so that I've got good enough pattern on the front of this. So I think like this will work well. So let's just go ahead and do the back of the cards. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of this this color back down just a little bit and just see if I do a little less what I'll end up with. So I'll go ahead and put that down. See if I can work fast enough to, because now my plate is starting to be activated, so should be good. See what we get. You know, the Gelli printing always gets better the longer you're printing on your plate, because that plate really starts activating. Okay. These cards look so good. Oh, I love them. Oh, kind of hard to see them, and they're all just kind of far away, but really looking good. Okay. So, let's, oh yeah, look at that. Good. Get a good print. Perfect. Love it. Good. Perfect. Okay, so now we'll do another layer, and I'm going to use the gold. Trying to put it in some different places on this plate so that I can maybe pull up some different material here. Okay. Give it a shot. Just really press it down and see what I can get here. And then we'll get some gluing going on here so you can see how I'll finish these cards. Okay. Oh yeah, good. See how we got, when you start seeing all those little bits and pieces like that, that's what we want, because that builds up that, oh, a lot of good texture there. Perfect. Yep. Love it. Oh yes, this is good. And then sometimes I just take the cards and, you know, go around the plate because you pick up more stuff that way. Ah, yes, yummy. It's good. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. You can start getting these pieces up. That's what I live for. Good job. Okay, perfect. So that's looking good. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was I'm showing you one technique, I would still be working on this plate and actually work with some ink and stuff like that. But we're going to stick to this part. That's why, you know, when I'm working over on Patreon, I'll do longer sessions where I can, and I'll just kind of be in the flow. A lot of it is just called, I call it, you know, behind the scenes in my studio, because I just get and work and, you know, discover things. We discover a lot of things together and have a good time. So, but, you know, in keeping with the length of the videos here, I kind of got to stop myself. Yep. These look so good. Loving them. Okay. So now let's go ahead and pick a card. It doesn't matter. Any card. Let's do this one. It's got a lot of texture on it. So then what I like to do is I just kind of go into my print. So let's just go right into here. I'm just going to take bits and pieces of the scripting. And, you know, because the colorways work well together too, I'm literally going to start gluing this on, collaging. Get my waste paper, and we'll just start gluing. Yoo-hoo glue stick. You know, I love the Yoo-hoo the best. I've tried other glue sticks, and I tell you, every now and then you can hit one. I remember, because Vicki Ross, who follows me, and she's a supporter on Patreon, and she's in the studio school. I love Vicki. And she's been hanging out with me for a good while. And she has a YouTube channel, so if you haven't checked her out, go over and check out Vicki Ross here on YouTube. She does a lot of lives. So it's sort of covered up a part of the hole, but that's okay because we can just go in and cut it or just punch it. Because I kind of wanted that to sort of sit in the middle. But you see how it just almost just disappeared right into that card. And we just got a beautiful collage started very simply. Anyhow, she reached out to me because, you know, the Yoo-hoo sticks are just skyrocketed on Amazon. I don't know what's going on with Yoo-hoo that they've done that. And she was like, Sam, Robin, what other, you know, you've got me on these darn glue sticks now. What other glue stick is there? Because it's just like crazy. And I agree with her. I said, I wouldn't buy that. Just wait. Because sometimes you guys know if you shop regularly on Amazon, you know, something can just go up like crazy. And if you give it a week or so and go back to it, somebody's selling, you know, seller comes back on selling it at a sensible price. So, but I was telling her, I said, you know, I really haven't found any other glue sticks that really, I feel, do the job. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to kind of work around the images in my print just to kind of get rid of some of the extra paper. Because also I don't want to and then I'm going to kind of just put it, yep, I like it like that. So anyway, and I've tried a lot of different glue sticks, and they go on fine at the time, but one or two things. Either they're not sticky enough, or over time I notice they start kind of, you know, crumpling, getting sort of bit brittle, and then releasing from the page, or they don't work well over acrylics. And I do a lot of gluing like this over, you know, acrylics and stuff. So I did one time find, and I wish I had just gotten all of them, but I did get a chunk of them just in case it did work. Office Depot had a brand that they, let me see, I'm just kind of getting these together. Had a brand that they had. It was their own, you know, it said Office Depot on them. And they had them on sale for something crazy like 67 cents for two big ones like this in a pack. Or just, you know, I think there was a three or four pack of the small ones, and they were like 37 cents. It was just unbelievable. So I did grab a few packs of them. Why I didn't grab them all? Because of course those glue sticks end up being good. They were really good. I think they had to have gotten the Yoo-hoo formula, or maybe had their things packaged at the same company that does the Yoo-hoo glue sticks. You know how companies will do that, because they were really, really good. And I'd gotten them thinking, well, all else fails, you know, I can, you know, use them when I'm working with kids or something like that, you know, whatever. Didn't matter. It wasn't like it was a ton of money. But I really wish I had gone back. And then I went back to see, well, maybe those were gone. But when I thought, well, maybe they'll bring them back out, they really haven't. And I think they might have. I think I might have tried it one time, but I didn't like the formulation. So let's keep an eye on Office Depot. They might, you know, they might double back around and carry some more again. But those are the only ones I found that I feel like really were any good. So there we are with glue sticks. Maybe you guys have some out there that you know really work really well. They work good over all various mixed media surfaces, and they, you know, you've over the course of time they've proven to you, you know, like you come back on them a couple years later, and they're not brittle and they don't pop off the page or they don't yellow, then let me know, because that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Okay, so see how good these look? Just taking bits and pieces of that print. It really just disappears into the card. But let's get this over here. So yeah, let's do the circle. I think I'll do half on one card, half on the other, you know, that kind of thing. Okay. So maybe something like that. So what I'll do, so I'll glue up a part of it. Put it down, kind of like at the halfway point. So like maybe something like that. That way I get a nice straight edge across the top. I love using papers like this, but if you can find, even if you can find like a, you can't find an onion skin, like I said, tracing paper doesn't work, but there's some other, like I can run that calligraphy paper that I use, I can run that through the printer, and that also, it goes really thin, and it makes a really nice thin paper. And those are I have those links, all the links for the materials that I use, I generally do put below the video. So if you're looking for something that I've used, just check the notes in the video, and I normally have all the links for Amazon, so at least that way you can go over to Amazon and see what things look like. And if you want to go to Michael's and try to find it, or you have your own local places that you shop at least you can see what those products look like. So all those are below, but yeah, I was saying that for a reason. It'll come back to me. But anyhow, that looks so good. I love it. Alrighty, so so we've got the fronts. Let's pop over and get a few of these backs, because I want to put this down. Yes, if I'm ever using something that you're not quite sure what it is, I don't mind you asking me, because I'll put the link right below the your question. Especially, I could have forgotten to put it in, because I'm good for that too. Like I'll think I put links in and I haven't. So here we are. Let's go ahead and glue this on here now. Finish these up. Just to give you guys an idea of, different ways to work with your jelly prints and different ways to work with jelly printing. So you really kind of have a mixed media approach to your projects. It's just not all jelly printing or all, collage or all, one way or the other, or just working on the same papers. It's always, great to change up the papers that you're working on, and you do definitely get different results. These are looking good. So let's do another one. I'll work this one in. And yeah, you guys can start going through your jelly prints, seeing which ones you want to make some photocopies of and have at it. You'll really enjoy it. If you already are just loving your jelly prints, you start photocopying them and then start using them in so many diverse ways. It will just cause you just to be so thrilled with all your work and everything. And it's funny because when you photocopy them, you just can get so many other variations seem to occur. And not to mention, you can also you know, sort of play with the colorways a little bit, and kind of change the coloring, even if you know just do it right in an editing program if you're good with that. If not, just take them right down to your local copier place and have them done. The library is a great place to go and have your things photocopied, because you know they're really cheap. You know, I find my library, the photocopies are cheap, and you know you can just kind of go there and in a kind of a relaxed manner and just kind of have at it. So I am going to use one rubber stamp. I've got these new stamps, and they're like passport seals. And where is the thing? Oh, here they are. They're these stamps, and I have the link. I'll put the link below for sure. But they're from different companies like Japan and China and Singapore and Venezuela. But they're sort of like passport stamps. And I'm working on that passport series. You saw that little book that I showed in the beginning of the video. And so I found these stamps, and they're like mad cheap. I mean, they're like $1.25 or something like that. And I think for those of you who can do the UK Amazon, I think some of my followers said they found them for like 67 pence or something. And then I think it's, you know, a couple dollars for shipping, but it takes a couple of weeks because they are coming from somewhere in Asia, but well worth it. I'll make sure I leave the link. So like right here, I can actually take, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bit from one and apart from the other. You know how I like to put the two together so that my stamp will split off. And so just kind of stamping it with, you know, oh, I love it. Look at that stamp. Tell me if it's not the best. Oh, and it just looks so good. Like on that little edge, this little, you know, my little scripting with this, just how perfect is that? A little bit of Gelli printing. Ah, elegant. And then right here, the bottom part, it just kind of makes its way over the print. So I'll do another one. That was with the Ganesh. Let me use a little bit of the claret. But I'll definitely remember to put these below the video because they're well worth the wait. I think when I showed it to my followers on Patreon, they're like, oh my God, I think everybody bought it. I think this stamp has made its way around the world for sure. So I'll split it this way. But it is a good one. And I mean, I can't believe the price. It's crazy. And it's a pack of them you get, and they're all good. China, Singapore. This one's a US one. This is Thai, Venezuela. I mean, they're good. Look at that. I love the red. So here, you know, we get a little bit of the Japan seal that way, and then a little bit on the other side here. So, what am I trying to show you? This one. I'm looking at this backwards. Okay. So anyway, those are fun stamps to play with. So I feel like those will go in this journal nicely. You know, and just kind of give another little edge to it. So I'll finish these up later, but just to kind of give you an idea of how to go in, pull some of your Gelli prints, go ahead and get them photocopied, and just have at playing with them, collaging with them, and also you can go back over some of the other cards you've already done, because you know we've already done some collaging in here. Go back over your cards, like this one right here. You know, I plan on coming back and doing some things on them. How nice would it be to put a little bit of this on this one too? So yeah, just, you know, go back through your pile and do some of this. If you know, go ahead and print some fresh cards, because we're still trying to move through and get these done. We only have this little bit left. So we're going to be done very soon. I'm excited. All right, guys, thanks a lot for hanging out with me here on YouTube. Remember to comment below this video, because I will be doing a giveaway. It's going to be a nice little box full of all kind of goodies. Thanks so much for, you know, hanging in with me, and, you know, coming to 5,000 together, and we'll just keep on growing our community here. Yep, love you guys. If you like this video, please like, and also subscribe if you're new to my channel. All right, love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.